So an ecological disaster, a planned misadventure, or a great project of strategic importance that will give India a geostrategic advantage. So the battle lines are very clearly drawn. The BJP has drawn blood with Party National General Secretary B.L. Santosh saying forces inimical to Bharat's growth are opposing this project. Why is the Congress lending its voice to them? Joining me on India First is General Raj Shukla, former army commander and commentator on strategic military affairs. Air Marshal Sanjeev Kapoor is former Director General of Inspection and Flight Safety. Incidentally, he landed the first fixed-wing at the Campbell Bay base. Captain D.K. Sharma is the former spokesperson of Indian Navy, consultant at Bharat Shakti. For the political perspective, I have Dr. Shama Mohammed representing the Congress Party and Dr. Ajay Alok representing the BJP. Dr. Shama Mohammed, the BJP insists the project is of great strategic importance. The BJP says the Great Nicobar Islands are located less than 150 miles from Indonesia, situated near the western entrance to the Malacca Straits. It's a very vital maritime trade route. That it's the most delicate choke point. It's a critical asset for Indian naval capabilities. It's very good for our power projection. B.L. Santosh asks, why is the Congress lending its voice to forces that are inimical to India's growth and want to stall such a project?
You see, these type of people called B.L. Santosh should be kicked out, first and foremost. How dare he uses such words? When there is something, we are the opposition, and the word battleground, battle has been drawn. I find it really ridiculous. This is for the development of India. We are not against the development of India. But what we are saying is it's a tribal area, it's a rainforest area. You have the Champagne tribe and you have the other tribe over there from the Nicobaris tribe. So one is it's the ancestral land of the Nicobaris tribe, right? Then the Champagne tribe, their employment, you have to move all of them. They're all stakeholders. They have to be involved. Now let's understand, you need to cut around 32 lakh to 52 lakh trees. Now the government of India says the compensatory afforestation happens in Haryana. I fail to understand what does this mean. When I cut trees in Andaman and Nicobar, why should the afforestation happen there? Then there was a National Commission for Scheduled Tribe and Tribal Council of Greater Nicobar said they were made to write a letter in duress. Then that letter from the council that has been revoked because the council noted that the authorities rushed them into signing. So what we are saying, we are never against development. If we were against, India is not what it's going to be today with the IITs and the ISRO and everything. What we are saying is, why are these stakeholders not involved? And also, you know that the CRZ zone is basically, there is the coral reef there, the turtle nesting. So take care of all this because we have not taken care. We have seen what's happened in Uttarakhand, what's happening in many other states in India, even in Himachal or others. What we want is, we don't want loss of life. We don't want to displace the tribals. We get them involved, use them as stakeholders, and then do whatever we have to do.
Fair
but
enough.
don't
Let
come
me
and
bring
be
in
authoritarian. Don't be authoritarian and say, oh, this is against India. Look at B.L. Santosh is not a politician. He's an RSS man. He should sit at home and shut his door over there because he dare not use such language on the party which has run this country, which can do it better than he can ever do in his entire lifetime.
Okay. Dr. Ajay Alok, the Congress calls it a planned misadventure. The Congress says it's an ecological disaster, poses an existential danger to the indigenous tribal community, flora and fauna, and accuses leaders like B.L. Santosh using language that is aimed at, putting the Congress in a corner when they say that's not required. Congress has run this country for so many decades.
Quite right you are. Congress has run this country for so many decades, and in so many decades we have seen that how POK was given to Pakistan, how Aksai Chin was given to China, how Kachatibu Island was given to Sri Lanka, how many islands in northeastern were given to China. All these things we have seen that what Congress has done, and so is Mr. B.S. Santosh, or for that matter Ajay Alok, or for that matter any nationalist says that why Congress is lending its voice to the anti-national forces or those forces who are inimical to the India's growth and development. There's a reason behind it. See, there are 2-3 points which has to be taken into consideration. Champagne tribe and Nicobarian tribes. These two tribes are our indigenous tribes which are not exposed to external environment at all, not vaccinated, nothing doing, no people in flux, no meeting. So they are quite vulnerable to all kind of disease and all kind of ecological disasters they might face. So those two islands have not been touched. That is there in the floor. That was said in the floor of the House. But Congress failed to realize this. Now coming off the ecological disaster. This is an absolute greenfield ecosystem, eco-friendly project, which is aimed, number one, for the development of people living in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It's aimed at the strategic interest the country will have after establishing an international airport, a port,
Okay.
international port, and a naval base, which will strengthen us in the region of Indian Ocean. Now, who is wary of this project? Who is not happy at all with this project? There are multiple countries, and China is one of them. They never wanted a naval base to be established. They never want India to have a maritime forces. They never want an international trade route coming for India. Now, why within India such a voice should arise? Why? Now they talk of seismic danger. Seismic danger. Okay, fine, seismic danger. Japan is having the highest seismic danger. So Japan should not do any trade. Japan should not do any infrastructure. The point here is that if you don't take care and concern of the people, if you don't want to make a particular area industrious, a particular area in a development mode, this is your
Okay.
problem. That's what you have done to India for the last 70 years. And that's why Mr. B.S. Santosh said that why Congress is raising hands, joining hands, and joining voice with forces amicable to the development of India. He's very
Can I
correct.
just come in 1 minute, Gaurav?
Okay.
1 second.
Okay, 1 minute before I bring in the strategic affairs
My
analyst, but
question
go
is-
on.
My question is, Gaurav, as an opposition, we are trying to preserve the tribe. We are not against development, I particularly told, but when we, in this country, opposition cannot say anything. The minute we say anything, we are against the forces of this country. What is it? I want you to ask you something. Stop the match, India-Pakistan match. Operation Sindoor Jari Rahega. That is what the Prime Minister of my country said. Why are we playing a match with? You spoke about us. Oh, you have done this. You have done that. Our people have died. Pakistan has attacked us. It was a terrorist attack. How dare
Ma'am,
you
that
do
debate
Pakistan?
is coming
Stop
up at
that.
8:30
Stop the
tonight.
match.
That
And you
debate is
accuse
coming.
us.
That debate is coming up at 8:30 on that India-Pakistan match. That's coming up shortly.
He
But
was
General
talking
Shukla,
about us. Now I want to tell him to stop it.
General Shukla,
He's
General
accusing
Shukla,
us.
I want to stay on the strategic aspect for a moment. Dr. Mohammed, hold on. General Shukla, your assessment of the Great Nicobar Island project from the strategic point of view and the environment assessment. You've heard both the government, or you've heard both the political parties, the ruling party and the opposition party, sir. General Shukla.
So Gaurav, just let me say that the environmental concern. Yeah. So Gaurav, let me just say this, that the environmental concerns are entirely valid, but it is time to complement our, continental gaze with some maritime prowess. We are getting late in this whole game, and just let me now lay out the arguments or the strategic imperatives, which in my view are equally compelling. Our competitor is China. It has a 400 ship navy. Those ships are not going to patrol the Chinese coastline. Its shipbuilding is 200 times that of USA. 200 times. There is a book which has come out this week called Breakneck by Deng Wong. It says China, because they are a country of engineers, are rolling out civil military infrastructure at breakneck speed. And USA, being a country of lawyers, has obstructed many of their projects, and therefore they are in a sorry plight. So my point is this: the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, I think I'm quoting Admiral Arun Prakash many years back, he said they are a natural aircraft carrier at sea. They allow us, a natural island to build our radars, our airfields, our infra, to project power across the Malacca. Because if you don't project power across Malacca, those threats will come to your shores. It will also enable us to strengthen the entire A2AD in the IOR. So we just have to get going, because we are up against a country which has converted atolls and reefs into military bases. We know what they've done in the South China Sea. And here we have a lovely island where we need to take these strategic imperatives forward. Let me make one last point. China practices civil military fusion. See what they do smartly. Their fishing fleets are built with military specific.
Yes. Give me a moment, we reestablish that link, but that's a very important point you're making. The dragon is like coming into these waters, into the Indian Ocean region. This is where we may control that very strategic choke point. We need that air base, is your point of view. Air Marshal Sanjeev Kapoor, you were the first fixed wing pilot to land a fixed wing aircraft at the Campbell Bay in the Great Nicobar Islands. In your appreciation, given the threat posed by China and not just in the maritime domain, how important is it for India to develop critical infrastructure from the point of view not just of merchant shipping, but our armed forces?
See, today, if we have to launch any operations, we go for international exercises, say to Australia, Singapore, we have to do hopping. We have bases in Port Blair, but that has certain limitations because of large amount of civil flights. So to
Yes.
have a dual purpose runway, this airfield, by the way, was developed in 1989, and I just pulled out my logbook, and it has an entry, the first landing on 21st May 1989 at Campbell Bay. So this has come a long way. That time it was a small strip. Now they've extended it. The plan is to make it about 10,500 feet long strip to take on heavies, to do strategic airlifting from there. And this would require just extension of the existing one. It's not creating something afresh. Now, what it implies is that we are just 45 minutes flying time to Malacca. We are just very close to Sunda and Lombok, the other two choke points, which General Shukla mentioned. And we have a naval stalwart sitting here, so he'll amplify much more. But from the air aspect point of view, the surveillance with regards to UAVs, our patrol aircrafts, the naval P-8Is, all the strategic airlift like C-17, air-to-air refuelers, AWACS, need a very long runway. So this is what is envisaged. Can develop it like in Hong Kong style, wherein the transshipment comes. It will save us a huge amount of circumnavigation part to go into this part of the world, and vice versa, any shipments coming. So this is the strategic implication. Tourism, of course, but the point of maintaining the ecosystem is also valid. And I'm sure it has taken 4 years for the clearances to come, and all
Okay.
these cases must have moved to respective ministries and verticals to bring about what the clearances have just come.
Sure. Ajay Alok wants to come in, but I want to bring in Captain DK Sharma in just a moment. Captain Sharma, the Andaman Islands was seen as a aircraft carrier, a static aircraft carrier, giving India a major advantage near Malacca Straits. But explain, one, the significance of location, two, the project that is currently in the eye of a storm.
Well, Gaurav, as a general and the AVM has already brought out, but I will tell you in very, very precise terms. See, from the Indira Point, the southernmost point of India, from there, if you see Sabang and Banda Aceh, these two ports,
Yes.
60 nautical miles. Actually, if you go on a height, you can see the other side. Number
Yes.
two, 96,000 ships, white bottoms, traverse this area every year, which turns to around 300 ships every 24 hours. Third point, have you seen the number of vessels which China is pushing this side under the garb of anti-piracy or research vessels which are, circling around us? They are mapping our, bottoms. They are taking full temperature kind of
Yes.
things they are maintaining so that the submarines, that is the SSNs, SSBNs, could be deployed at a later stage. Then, sir also brought out IUU, illegal, unregistered. All these things are happening under the garb of fishing, which is not fishing, as General brought out. It is
Yes.
all PLA Navy. It is the pseudo part. Number four, if you see the traffic of the world, which is coming from whether it is the Cape of Good Hope, whether it is the Persian Gulf, whether it is the Gulf of Aden, which is traversing all across Indian Ocean region and moving towards South China Sea or Western Pacific.
It goes through a very
90%.
narrow choke point. Yes, it goes through a
All
very
of
narrow
them
choke point,
converge.
and we'll be
Gaurav,
dominating
let
it.
me bring it out. Let me bring
Yes.
it out. All of these converge to south of Indira Point, which is called the 6-degree channel and 10-degree channel, and then make the way through Malacca Straits, cross Singapore, and enter the South China Sea.
Yes.
See the strategic advantage of this place. Are we
Dr.
going to
Shama
lose it?
Mohammed, that's the point. Look at the
Are we going to
strategic
lose it?
advantage
This should have
of
been done. This should have been done a decade back when this
Yes.
threat was showing its head. But today,
What should have happened more than a decade ago is finally happening. But then is there an attempt to stall it as the BJP alleges, Dr. Mohammed? The Naval Air Station there, INS Baz, was commissioned in 2012. Sonia Gandhi was then chairperson of UPA. Over a decade later, the BJP asked on what basis and on whose behalf is the Congress now trying to consider this project of such vital national security importance a misadventure? That's a question that's been posed by BJP's Anil Antony.
Who is BJP's Anil Antony? Why should I respond to BJP's Anil? Is he the defense minister of this country? No. So don't bring out
His
names like
father
this.
was in the Congress government, but
I
be
don't
that
care.
as it may.
His father I'll respond to. If you say A.K. Antony has said it, I'll respond. But if you get here and there people and ask me questions, you're a senior rank. I have a lot of respect for you, Gaurav. Get out names. Now you've got three of the military people. I have huge respect for them. What I want to tell them is nobody, I am the first person who will go after China. And I always say, even now I'm saying we should not have any trade, any business with Pakistan till they stop this sort of attack on us. I agree with how strategically Andaman and Nicobar Islands are placed, no denying that. But what I'm saying, or what we are saying, is just take these stakeholders, let these tribes get the stakeholders, the Shortmain and the Nicobaris tribe, get them in. See what has happened even in Odisha where this mining happened. You never take the tribal people in. You need to get these tribal people in, speak to them and give them what they want, give them their employment, give an area what they want, and let's also development on the other side. Nobody is against it. I'm the first one said, we need to teach Chinese a lesson. Even now, our finger points, let me finish. In Galvan and in Hot Spring, our finger points where we are patrolling is right now, again, the buffer zone is on our side, not on their side. So everything has changed. We have not gone back to status quo ante. I would love we go back to status quo ante of May 2020. So it is not that we are against. We want our military. And also, I want to tell the three of them here that we also need to invest in R&D. Israel has 7% of their GDP in R&D. You need R&D for all this, correct? Unless you have R&D, you're not going further with all this sort of play. We need to develop our defense on that. We need to manufacture equipments. We need to manufacture missiles.
Points taken entirely, but I'm on the limited point here of this opposition to the Andaman and Nicobar, the Great Nicobar, island. Ajay Alok, respond to the Congress saying that the BJP is insensitively pushing through a project, making a mockery of all legal and deliberative processes. The ancestral villages, as Dr. Shamma Mohammed pointed out, of the Nicobarese tribals, they fall in this proposed land area. Now they will be displaced. Stakeholders are not being taken into account. Dr. Ajay Alok, the limited time that I have.
The number of trees you're going to cut.
It has been, the deliberations have been going on for the last 4 years and every stakeholder is taken into confidence. Not a single one left. Now let me just, one question. What led to the Congress party, who has ruled this country for 65 years, that they never went into R&D, what she's talking right now? They never went into defense production, what she's talking right now. They never went into making of bases, not a decade, at least 30 years ago, 89, when the first aircraft landed. At that point of time, why it was not taken into consideration that we should have strategic points there? Don't give me all this crying and don't use foul languages like he should be kicked out and why I should respond. Then why I should respond to her? She should better respond to first her leader in the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, Jairam Ramesh and Rahul Gandhi, who are strategically opposed. Sonia Gandhi wrote an article on this, on Nicobar Island. On whose behest they are doing this? One question to all your viewers. If we don't develop it, which country is going to benefit it?
Okay.
Who's going to benefit if we
Jal
don't
Shukla,
develop
the
our
last 30
strategic
seconds I have on this part of the show. The government's assessment is that the port would perhaps try to rival Singapore's transshipment through this China-influenced Malacca Straits. Do you agree that the aim is to reduce reliance on foreign hubs, capture 20 to 30% of that regional cargo through rerouting? Jan Shukla.
You're asking?
Yes.
Yeah, so see, not only is there the national security argument, there is a shipping story too. I'm told the ICTP, the International Container Transshipment Port at Great Nicobar, 30% of cargo flows through the Malacca Strait. So this port will draw cargo flows from rival ports. It will save forex, attract FDI, and so on and so forth. So there is a national security persuasion, there is a maritime story. But see, the larger point, if I can make one point. 10 years back along the LAC, I remember I was a brigadier in the MO Directorate. We had similar challenges. And there were, I think there were 150 cases where there were environmental stays. And we were told that the court will not lift these stays. And I think we hired a very good lawyer, if I'm not mistaken, it was Mr. Ram Jethmalani. And in 1 week, in one fell swoop, all 150 stays were lifted. So the courts were also very sensitive to national security concerns. So I'm saying that all three are important. What Shamaji is saying, environment is important, national security is important, the maritime push is important. I'm sure as a nation we can create the wisdom to converge on all three. Because if we don't move forward on this, I've told you the dangers from the strategic military competition from China. Just one data piece I'll leave you with. Last year, one Chinese company, China Shipbuilding Corporation, produced more maritime tonnage than the Americans have produced since World War II. The figures are staggering. The dangers are great. So we cannot
the dangers are
delays.
great. So it's time for, whether it's the government or the opposition, yes, environment is important, but isn't national security and strategic concerns, shouldn't they also be taken into account? Remember what happened when you weren't building roads in near the line of actual control in Ladakh? The Chinese took advantage of that situation. Now you're building those roads in Ladakh, you're effectively able to counter them. Anyways, security forces say to counter the Chinese in the Himalayas, you need to be very strong in the Indian Ocean region. We'll continue to debate this. To all my guests, many thanks for joining me.